Touching silver. There is a legend that once, long ago when the world was very young, fish lived on the land and breathed the air as we do. Their fins were hands, and they hunched along the ground like caterpillars. They lived in great halls carved from a mountain of silver in the middle of a desert, and water was the most precious thing they knew. One hot day, a proud, greedy fish called Give-Me was crawling along a road towards the Silver Mountain when he met one of the gods who walked the earth in those days. His name was Changer, because more than anything he loved to change one thing into another. The fish called to the god and said, "Grant me a wish, O Great One. Let it be that everything I touch will run to water in my hands and be mine." Changer laughed and said, "Truly?" And the fish, whose name was Give-Me, quickly replied, "Truly." And it was so. The fish reached out to touch a rock by the roadside, and the rock changed and ran to water in the fish's hand, and was his. The fish laughed and said, "Truly, O Changer, this is a great gift. It will make me great so that all fish will know me by my name and look up to me." Then the fish went back to the silver halls of his people, and on his way he touched many things, and they all changed and ran to water in his hand. Coming into the great hall, the fish stood before his people and cried, "See what a great gift Changer has given me. All things I touch turn to water in my hands and are mine. Am I not the greatest among you and the chief of all the fish?" And the fish cried, "Truly." But Changer, who had followed the fish into the hall, muttered, "Truly?" And there was a smile on his face. Then the fish, whose name was Give-Me, reached out to touch the silver throne of his people and claim it as his own. But as he touched it, it changed and ran to water in his hand. And because the throne was carved from the silver of the mountain and still a part of it, all the mountain changed and ran to water. The fish felt the floor melting beneath them and looked up to see the roof falling in a great rush of water. And as they choked and struggled in the flood, they shouted at the fish called Give-Me and called him a fool. And Changer, who was watching, smiled and said, "Truly." But he felt sorry for them. So he reached out his hand and touched the fish called Give-Me and said, "As you have changed the mountain and the throne, so you must also be changed, you and all your people." Then Changer touched all the fish, and as they changed in his hand, so their sides and their backs and their bellies turned to silver. Now they could live in the water without having to breathe air, and follow the water down to the sea. And so they have been ever since, and so they are now. But it was not always so.